Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode number 42. It is Friday, September 11th. So today's show going to be a little bit different. Not going to be talking hobby today. 9/11, a very important day in history. We can never forget. One of the probably the worst days in United States history. I talked a couple weeks ago about reflection. So I thought that I would put that on the back burner, and today would be the perfect day for a little bit of reflection. The topic, reflecting back, kind of came to me a couple weeks ago. I was very stressed out at work and just needed to step away, get some fresh air. Took the dog for a walk. The neighborhood I'm in is there. There's a little ruralness to it. Less and less as more developments are popping up, but there's a road that I like to walk down because it is more rural. There's some fields, so as I'm walking down, smells really bring us back to different times throughout our lives. And for whatever reason, the sounds of locusts and the smell of basically the end of summer. It was probably the last week of August when this walk occurred. It really took me back to about 10 years ago in my life. I went back to college. I was in my late 20s, and it just felt like a new lease on life. That freedom you have. I remember when I was 16, and getting my driver's license and just having the freedom to uh, jump into my car and drive around town, just drive around my small town. The freedom that afforded me was unparalleled. And when I went back to college, it had that similar feel. So that is what spurred my thoughts on reflection. But today I just want to reflect on 9/11 and my thoughts and emotions from that day 19 years ago. I was just starting my second year in college. I was living at home and commuting to a junior college in Kewanee, Illinois, Blackhawk College East Campus. It was about a 20-minute drive. So I would wake up, drive to school, and commute back and forth. 9/11 2001 was on a Tuesday, and it's strange the memories that we have, and how vivid they can be. Sometimes my wife tells me to take out the trash, and 5 minutes later I'm doing something else and completely forgot that conversation, but I can remember every detail of what was happening on 9/11 almost 20 years ago. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had, I think, two classes in college. My first class ran from 9:30 to 10:45. It was an art class. So I would wake up around 7:30. Um, it was just like a normal day, I thought. My mom told me as I woke up and walked out into the kitchen. She was having a cup of coffee and watching, I think, Good Morning America. She told me that the World Trade Center was on fire. Didn't think twice about it. A fire. That's what I thought. I just thought it was a fire, and they're reporting on it on the morning news. So I jumped in the shower, and when I got out of the shower, I turned on and um, Good Morning, not Good Morning America, but the NBC show, the Today Show, and I turned that on in the other room. Realized it was more than just a fire. It was a tragic event. An airplane flew into the World Trade Center, and at this point in the morning, probably what 7:30, 8 o'clock. Um, Just thought it was a terrible accident. Did not realize the scope of what actually was happening in New York City. So I watched and I saw the second plane fly in, and it was no accident. Um, I drove to school and had the radio on. Um, Obviously, at by this point, 8:30 ish Central Time, everybody was, news stations had interrupted. They're reporting on it. Radio stations completely reporting on it. Get to my class, and it was normal but surreal. And it's hard to explain. My class began at 9:30. The professor, I don't think he had really known what was going on at this point. It was still pretty early. And as my classmates trickled in, you would hear, various people talking, and it was the first news that some of them had heard of it. Um, they probably just woke up and ran to class, didn't put a CD in the CD player, weren't didn't have the TV on, didn't listen to the radio, rather a CD on their way into school. So about half the people in my class were talking about it. It was news to some. So we kind of conducted our morning class like we normally would. Um, then it became really surreal. My class ended 10:45 that morning. Um, Walked over to the main building, I guess. Our campus, it was a junior college, so we had like a main building that was actually separated by the driveway. So there was a skywalk that was actually, the skywalk was the cafeteria. And then there were 5 or 6 smaller buildings, just off the main building. So my art class was in one of the furthest buildings. So a short walk, 5-minute walk back to the main building. So just off the skywalk was the cafeteria. There was tables, vending machines, and then just to the north building was the rec room, basically, and that was kind of the hangout for the students. There was a TV, and it was this is 2001, so it's a console TV, probably 27-inch TV, maybe 36-inch. A couple couches. There were tables and chairs, a couple arcade games, and 2 pool tables. Normally, this college was very small. I don't know I can't remember what exactly the student body was, but it was pretty small. So on a typical day, and especially on a Tuesday, less classes, less people. There were, not as many people in the rec room. On a normal day, there were probably 10-ish, probably 10 people, a few guys playing pool, a couple people maybe watching TV or sitting at tables. And that was it, 10 people. And we walked in and it was completely filled. Had never seen this room filled so much. Not even close. It was at least 100 people when normally there's a dozen, all just huddled around this 27-inch TV watching the news updates on the World Trade Center attacks. It was breathtaking in a bad way. So spent most of the day, and instead of going home, I had I think a mid-afternoon class. Just basically everybody camped out, watched the news coverage. I had an afternoon class, and that's fuzzy. I think I don't know if it was sociology. I think it was sociology. Um, and it wasn't a normal class by any means. So I had those two classes, and then I went back home. 20-minute drive. My small town. I worked at a IGA grocery store, and I worked a short 3-hour shift from 4 to 7. And I keep saying surreal, and I think that's what it was. My small town was 800 or 900 people, and I worked at this grocery store, and it was a madhouse. People coming in, buying milk and buying bread, um, just like natural disaster was coming. And here in the Midwest, a blizzard. When there's a snowfall predicted, people rush to the grocery store, stock up on milk, bread, and eggs. And that was what was going on September 11th, 2001. My small town grocery store, people were fearing what could happen. Customers were coming in, just giving a rundown of what's going on outside of our grocery store. The gas station at the edge of town, there was a line down the street. A gas station chain had spiked gas prices to $4 per gallon, which today doesn't seem all too high. But back then, gas was $1 a gallon. It was so bizarre. And after my shift ended at 7, my friend of mine, Joe, had an apartment just off the downtown area in my small town. That was kind of our group hangout. Most of us still lived at home and were commuting to junior college. So we all hung out at Joe's apartment. And if you've ever seen the movie Joe's Apartment, this was very similar. Pretty disgusting, typical 19, 20-year-old apartment. And I think we just huddled around the TV there, watched the coverage. Everything was, obviously canceled on that Tuesday night. Just a bizarre day. And I just wanted to reflect on that, just kind of give you share my experiences, what I was going through that day. And, this is a hobby journal, a video journal. But I've said it before, the hobby is based on life. And not every day will I talk specifically about baseball cards, but 90% of the time, it'll be baseball card talk. So that's all I had for today. Just wanted to share my memories of 9/11, 2001. Tomorrow I do want to share kind of a side project that I've had going. It's not, I don't want to call it a collection, because it's just kind of it comes to me when the opportunities arise. So I was doing a little bit of organizing last night. So I just kind of wanted to get that started and show off that little side collection I have. It's not impressive by any means, but it's something that I have started within the last probably 2 years. It is Cubs related. So that is all. I did stop at Walmart yesterday. They had not stocked. I think they had typically been stocking on Thursday afternoons. Based on the last couple of weeks, I believe that has been changed up, and they're stocking on Friday mornings. The nearest store I did stop at around lunchtime last week had already been stocked and cleared. So I'm guessing first thing in Friday morning is when the Walmart is stocked. So not sure if I'll make any ventures around the stores today. Have a lot of stuff to get caught up on. So and I bought the case of Allen & Ginter, which arrives hopefully next Friday. So that will keep me busy next week. So that is all I have today. It is Friday. Thanks for watching. As always, visit me online at Twitter at 1 million Cubs. And you can find me on the blog, 1millioncubs.com. Have yourselves a great Friday.